When people, they mainly think of the EDCs, we always are trained and we all think that the dose is the poison, right? And with these endocrine disrupting chemicals, could you maybe comment and explain to our listeners about the low dose responses and the non-monotonic dose effects, and as well as how they work maybe individually is going to be a lot different than maybe how they work in concert?
So toxicology in general, going back 500 years to Paracelsus, talks about the dose makes the poison. And that's basically says that anything, if you have enough of it, can cause adverse effects. But it's much more than the dose that makes the poison. It's also the timing. Was it a single, say, high dose effect, or was it something where you get exposed repeatedly to very low doses over a long period of time? And you can see very different things occur if you have, say, what we would call an acute or a chronic kind of effect. Timing is also timing of your life stage. So what happens during development, and by development, I might mean in utero, so what's happening to the embryo or the fetus, as opposed to there's also development occurring in the child. We know that teenagers are not stable. There's development in adolescence that goes on. There's development in the woman when she's pregnant. Her body is changing. Those are all critical times as well. And what a chemical does during those developmental periods may be very different than what happens during a stable period of life. Then there's also the inherent susceptibility. People are not all the same. We all know that. We accept that people are different. But the point is their differences come not only from their genes, which is obviously, but from the past experiences that they've had, from their social conditions under which they live. What else are they doing? What's their nutrition? Can all impact how you respond. What happens at low doses, people used to think, okay, if it's a high dose, I can extrapolate back to a low dose and, I'll get to the point that nothing else happens. Well, now we're just different things happen at different doses. So, for example, especially in the endocrine field, where endocrine, our normal hormones or endocrine disrupting chemicals often interfere with a very specific receptor. And if you think about a receptor as the lock and the hormone is the key that opens that lock, what can happen is at different doses, you can have different locks and keys causing different responses to occur. So it's not that people are wrong extrapolating back from a high dose to a low dose. It's that different things may actually happen at very low doses. Then, in other words, the chemical can cause a different response at a low dose than it can at a high dose.